From Commando.com, welcome to Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your life. It's Thursday, October 18th. I'm Mike James. Coming up, we'll tell you about robocallers' new technique that could easily trick you, plus scammers that have a new way to access photos on your gadgets, and new technology is about to make the fake news epidemic worse. That and more in Tech News Today from Commando.com. We start with a frightening revelation about robocalls. They've always been annoying, but now they're also dangerous, and the bad news is scam robocalls are seriously on the rise. The FCC estimates that almost half of all robocalls will be scams by 2019. But the excessive number of scam robocalls is only the beginning. The technique criminals are starting to use to make the robocalls is really what's alarming. As we said, robocalls are out of control, and that's why most people don't even answer their phone anymore from numbers they don't recognize. It's the easiest way to avoid falling for a scam. Well, right now, robocallers are spoofing phone numbers to make them look like they're coming from someone you know. Spoofing is when scammers use technology to change the number that appears on your incoming caller ID, so they can make it seem like your bank's customer service or someone else that you wouldn't expect to be a scammer is calling. It's estimated by next year that 90% of all scam robocallers will be of spoofed numbers, making it nearly impossible to know that it's a scam. Imagine how bad it's going to be when crooks start using voice manipulation devices that might make them sound like someone you know. Don't laugh, this technology is in the works and it's about to become widely available. So instead of hearing the obvious voice of a robotic machine that you could hang up on, it'll be a human-sounding bot looking to rip you off. This is why it's important to apply some common sense rules when dealing with phone calls. For example, never give out sensitive information over the phone to an unsolicited caller. And if you have business with your bank, you should make the call to the number listed on the back of your debit or credit card. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Hey, have you checked your Apple gadget for updates lately? You should be running iOS 12.01 since it was released last week. And as usual, it came with a handful of patches to make your device more secure. But not everything has been fixed. A security researcher who found a couple flaws that were patched already in the latest update has found another flaw. Now, this one could be a problem if someone gets their hands on your iPhone. That's because there's a way to perform certain tasks on your iPhone without having to unlock it. They just need to ask Siri to activate VoiceOver, which would give them access to all your photos stored on your device. The scheme is a bit elaborate. It would take a total of 13 steps to get it done, but it is possible. The good news is you can stop this from happening by making one simple setting change. Just open your settings, tap Siri, and then search, and then turn off the Allow Siri when locked setting. It's that simple. And it's a good idea to turn that setting off, at least until Apple comes out with another patch that will block this vulnerability. Well, we already know we can't trust what we read on the internet. Well, now you can't trust what you see on the internet. I'll explain coming up next. Right now, a quick thank you to our partners who help make this podcast possible. Well, fake news is one of the worst developments to come from our increasingly connected world. With billions of people having access to social media sites and the internet, misinformation can spread like wildfire. Sometimes it's nearly impossible to know what's true without having some kind of proof, like a video, for example. But we can't always trust our very own eyes. It's because emerging advanced face tracking and video manipulation methods are becoming a reality. From a politician saying words that were never said to a celebrity shown doing something that never happened. The threat of ultra-realistic fake videos is here. They're known as deep fake videos and are created with facial mapping, AI, and deep machine learning technology. The only good news is deep fake technology is not perfect. Some telltale signs that a video is fake are people shown in them have kind of lifeless, unblinking eyes and jerky facial movements. They look unnatural, so if you're really paying attention, you probably will figure out that it is fake. The bad news is the technology is improving rapidly. Fake content creation tools are evolving, making changes that make them seem more real. It's pretty scary if you think about it. For a more detailed report, go to Commando.com and read the article titled "Deepfake Videos Have New Tech That You Need to Know About." It has all the frightening details right there for you. Coming up, we'll tell you how to find just how much information Apple has on you. Right now, a quick thank you to our friends who help make this podcast possible. Oh no, Facebook is in hot water again. Imagine that. The social media giant already lost credibility with its members when we found out about the Cambridge Analytica scam. Well, now it's being accused of lying to advertisers. The online marketing agency CrowdSiren filed a lawsuit against Facebook this week. It had already sued the social network in 2016 for inflating its metrics dealing with video ads. The complaint boils down to how long people are watching video ads found on Facebook. The company admitted to an error, a quote error, in how it figured out the numbers back in 2016. The new lawsuit claims that Facebook knew as early as 2015 that it was over-reporting the numbers. CrowdSiren is suing the social network for fraud, wants to get paid punitive damages. Things seem to be going from bad to worse for Facebook. Do you know anyone who has an electric vehicle? Even with all the potential savings on gas, there aren't tons of them to be found on the roads. Now, the one reason that people seem to stay away from electric cars is the fact that it's difficult to find charging stations. Unlike gas stations that can be found on every other corner, electric vehicle chargers are rare, but Google is trying to make them easier to find. Charging station information is being added to Google Maps. Just search for a term like electrical car chargers, and Maps will show you a list of results. Tap one of them, and it'll even give you how many chargers are available at that location. It is pretty cool, so check it out. If you live in a big city, you probably have more options than you'd think. The new feature is already available on iOS and Android gadgets, and will be released for desktop in the next couple of weeks. Midterm elections are right around the corner, and scammers are already out in full force. Security researchers at Zscaler have just uncovered an SEO, also known as Search Engine Optimization, poisoning campaign. It's when hackers create web pages that are packed with trending keywords in an effort to trick search engines to rank higher in search results. Over 10,000 websites have been compromised with more than 15,000 keywords associated with U.S. politics. The words midterm elections are actually being used by scammers right now. If you click on one of the search results created by hackers, you'll be redirected to another scam site and most likely will end up with some kind of malware infected on your device. The best way to avoid this trick is not to click on suspicious links that show up in search results. If you know the website that you want to visit, type in the address directly into the address bar. It's much safer than clicking on unknown links. Have you ever wanted to see your entire digital footprint that a company may have on you? Well, now you can. Apple started a new program this week that allows people in the United States to download all of their data. You can get a copy of your data from Apple apps and services. It may include your purchase or app usage history and the data you store with Apple, such as calendars, photos, or documents. There's also an option to correct information that you think is wrong. If you want to permanently delete your account and associated data from all Apple services, you can also do that. Check it out at privacy.apple.com. You'll need to enter your credentials to get started. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, do us a favor and give us a good rating on wherever you listen to us to. It does help other people find our podcast, and we appreciate that. Finally, for today's Commando Kicker, police in California's wine country say they're on the lookout for an enormous piece of art that vanished over the weekend. It's an 800-pound hammer made out of metal with a long redwood handle on it. It measures 21 feet long and 6 feet tall. So, how could it just disappear? Well, the piece is valued at $15,000 and would require at least 8 people or a flatbed trailer with a winch to be carried off. So if you see anyone driving around with an unusual large hammer, you should maybe call police. Probably a high school prank or something like that. For more fun and interesting facts, go to Commando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. That's our tech news today. If you enjoyed it, check out our other podcasts. You'll find tons of great information like our Consumer Tech Update, packed with facts, opinions, and introducing you to the latest going on in tech underneath the surface. Tech News this week is filled with top tech stories, scams, security alerts, and product reviews, and crazy happenings in the world of technology. You can find all of those by just searching KOMANDO on your favorite podcast player, or of course our new website, podnet.com.